I still blink in the sunset. You know I never wanna make you upset. How did I become so obsessed with this?
What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you how to make a delicious apple pie. Why buy a pre-made pie when you can make one yourself? Nothing beats a freshly baked warm apple pie. My secret is all in the crust. Forget the store-bought ones and learn to make an easy 4-ingredient crust that will change your pie experience forever. Let's get started. First, we're gonna work on the filling. I like to make the filling first, so it could be nice and cool by the time the crust is ready. You will want to peel all your apples, and yes, this might take a while if you have a dull peeler like mine. What can I say, it's quite old. Next, you're going to cut the apples in half and then quarters to remove the core. If you have an apple coring tool, you can use that too, but I'm a bit old-fashioned. Who likes doing things a simple way anymore? Not me. Anyways, back to the apples. Once you've cored all the apples, you'll want to medium dice them. You can also rough dice them, but this will make them all different sizes, leaving some to cook faster than others. Once you've diced all your apples, put them aside. Using a peeler, peel the skin of half an orange. Try not to get too much of the white part, because this will add a weird bitterness to your filling. Using the palm of your hand, roll the orange a few times, like a lemon. This makes the orange easier to juice. Now you're ready to cook your filling. Put in your butter and watch it melt. There's just something so satisfying about watching it melt. Now you want to add the apples and stir until they're nicely coated. I bet you're wondering why you cook the apples. Well, cooking the filling will make for a more full pie. If you put raw apple filling, the apples will shrink and it will be like a bag of chips, half full. This way, you'll know exactly what you're getting when you cut into the pie. Now, add the light brown sugar. Make sure to pack your measuring cup to get the accurate amount. Give it a nice stir until all the sugar is melted and has a consistency of a syrup. Now the spices. Add the nutmeg, then the cinnamon, then the salt and the orange peels. Don't forget the fresh squeezed orange juice. Once again, mix it all together. Next, you want to make a slurry by mixing the cornstarch and the water together. This guarantees that you won't have any unwanted lumps in your filling, cause who wants a mouthful of cornstarch? Now bring it to a boil and let the cornstarch thicken your filling. Once the apples are tender, remove it from the heat and let it cool before filling your pies. You also want to remove the orange peels. Now it's time to make an easy but tasty pie crust from scratch. Start by putting the flour into a medium mixing bowl. Add the sugar, and using a fork, mix it together. Now add the butter. You'll want to make sure the butter is nice and cold so when you work it into the flour, it won't melt. Using your thumbs and your pointer finger, you'll want to break the butter apart and coat it with flour. Repeat this step until the mix looks like cornmeal with tiny lumps of butter. This will make for a mealier crust, best for pies with a more liquidy filling. An important tip is to not work the mix too much with your hands. Once your flour mix is ready, you'll want to add ice cold water, then stir with a fork. The heat from your hands will cause the butter to melt and the dough to be soggy and sticky. Once the water is incorporated, you will want to knead the dough until it comes together. Before you roll out the dough, you will want to wrap it in plastic wrap. Try to get the dough into a nice square shape so it will be easier to work with when rolling out. Let the dough chill for 30 minutes before using. When your dough is nice and chilled, dust your work surface with some flour. Place the dough on top. I cut my dough in half so it's easier to work with. Don't be shy with the flour because this will stop your dough from sticking. Start rolling your dough little by little. This might take a while, but trust me, it's worth the effort. You can add more flour if it feels like the dough is starting to stick. You want your pie crust to be fairly thin, but not see-through. Now grab your pie dish, place it upside down to see how much dough you'll need. Using a paring knife, carve around the dish. You don't want this to be too small or you won't have enough to cover the entire dish. Flip the dish, then put the carved dough on top. Pulling the dough off the dish a bit, push down to mold the dough. Try not to rip a hole or you will need to patch it. There's 2 ways to remove the excess dough. You can use a paring knife to slice it off, or you can use a rolling pin and roll over the dish until you can see the rim. Then you can just pull the excess dough right off. There are also a lot of ways you can design the top of your pie, but in this video, I will show you only 2 different styles. The first one is my favorite, the basket weave. This design takes a lot of time, but it looks beautiful. Start by taking a rolled piece of dough and cut it into strips. This can be thicker or thinner depending on what you like. Now fill your pie shells with some cooled filling. You want to fill just until the rim. Spread it out evenly to remove any unwanted air. Now the time-consuming part. I did a simple basket weave pattern, making sure to leave some gaps in between each strip. I then used a paring knife to remove the excess dough, leaving a nice clean pattern. The second pattern is a traditional design. Start by applying another layer of rolled pie dough on top of your filled pie. Carve the excess dough away and remove. Flour your thumbs and your pointer fingers and start pinching all the way around. This should seal the pie filling with nowhere to escape. Let the pies chill for 10 minutes before you bake them. Do not skip this part or the dough will be too soft, making it hard to carve any designs on top. If you're wondering what you should do with all the excess dough, you want to combine it into a ball and rewrap the dough like before. Then put it back into the refrigerator and let chill before rolling again. Crack an egg and beat it until combined. This is the egg wash that gives your crust that beautiful golden color. You can add a bit of liquid to your eggs to water it down. Use a paring knife and make slits on top. This allows the steam to escape and not give your pie a random lump on top. I went with a more simple design, but you can get creative and comment below on how your pies came out. Now you want to brush the tops with egg wash and make sure every surface is covered. Sprinkle some sugar on top. Bake the pies at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 30 minutes or until the tops are golden brown. And that's it. Now you have a delicious apple pie with a homemade crust. Grab a spoon and enjoy. I like to eat this when it's nice and warm, topped with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Comment below and tell me how you like to eat your apple pies. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, or you can share it with your friends. Feel free to comment or subscribe if you haven't already. I am Bon Appetit, and I'll see you in the next one.